What makes Blue Thunder's land position so strategic and of high potential?
The Blue Thunder's land position is extremely strategic and has very high potential for the following reasons. First of all, our position is large. We have about 100,000 acres or 50,000 hectares. Our land position is centered, if you will, on a major geologic structure. That structure is about 14 kilometers long, and that structure is known to host gold mineralization and other types of minerals as well, but mostly gold, including a major recent discovery called Nelligan, which hosts 3 million ounces of gold and growing. Furthermore, our land position is located very close to roads, very close to electric power, and so we have year-round access. Those factors mean that our exploration is relatively low cost compared to many other projects located elsewhere in the world.
What is the biggest advantage of investing in Blue Thunder versus other companies in the district?
The biggest advantage of investing in Blue Thunder relative to other companies in our area, and there's about 20 other small, let's call them junior mining companies in our area, I think it's because Blue Thunder has a very large land position. If one were to use a poker analogy, we have many hands to win. You have to have the greatest chances of winning, you have to have the most hands. So large land position, and our valuation is relatively low. And contrary to popular belief, investing in a low valuation is actually a lower risk proposition. Another way to look at it is if a stock rises, then that incurs greater risk. In other words, if the company isn't able to make a discovery or isn't able to lead up to expectations, then there's a risk that the stock falls. Well, Blue Thunder is trading at a 52-week low. In fact, an all-time low. We became public about 2 years ago, about 2 weeks before COVID hit. I guess our timing wasn't great, but in retrospect, but nevertheless, at a 52-week low, the risk-reward ratio is very beneficial for investors at these levels, is what we think.
What is your view of gold prices in the medium to long term?
My personal view of gold in the medium to long term, and even in the short term, is quite bullish. And the reason is because in the history of mankind, without fail, governments have eroded the value of currencies. They've always done this. They will always continue to do this. And the reason they do it is they can't control their spending. They want to be elected. So they make promises and spend more money than they bring in. And what that means is the value of a currency of a dollar or a yen or a won or a ruble or whatever the currency is, it deteriorates or diminishes over time. That's a fact. The only thing we don't really know is the rate of deterioration. And by the way, another name for that deterioration is called inflation. And ironically, about a year ago, I was mentioning to everyone that we would get inflation, and inflation would be a problem. And everyone thought that was ridiculous because we haven't had inflation for many decades. But inflation is a huge problem right now. You go to the grocery store, it costs what, $10 to buy some grapes, and $6 to buy raspberry. Anyway, the point, everybody knows what I'm talking about. You just have to go to fuel up your gas tank. That is inflation, and that the erosion of the buying power of a currency, of any currency. And so gold in the history of civilization, ironically, 1 ounce of gold has always represented the price, if you will, of a very high-end men's suit, a custom-tailored men's suit. It's the same today. It was the same 100 years ago, and the same probably 1,000 years ago. Gold keeps its value. So it's a store of value, and in some instances, that's not beneficial in very certain limited contexts. But in this current context, a store of value is very appreciated. And that's why gold is a great place to be right now. And precious metals in general, silver as well.
Does Blue Thunder have exposure to copper or any other metals?
So Blue Thunder is not just a gold exploration company. We do have other minerals on our properties, notably copper. And uh, our area, if you will, our district is called the Chibougamau district of northern Quebec. And Chibougamau is known to host many different types of minerals: iron ore, copper. We've talked about gold. There's some lithium. There's all kinds of different minerals. But specifically on our properties, we have gold and copper mineralization. And uh, we are extremely optimistic about copper's prospects as well. I mean, copper has almost doubled in the last couple of years, and we believe copper will double yet again. And the reason is because copper is used in the electrification process. And if one believes that there will be more electric cars, for example, then there will be more need for copper wires, copper wiring, cabling, and so on. So we are also looking for copper on our properties.
What are the strategic advantages of a smaller company like Blue Thunder?
Investing in a micro or nano cap company like Blue Thunder presents challenges and opportunities. The challenges for us as a management team is it's hard to get attention. There are hundreds of small companies like us. Why is Blue Thunder different? Why is it better than others? Our view is that we have an exceptionally good land package. Our view is that we have very good management. We have a great board. We have the ability to raise capital, uh, and we know what we're doing in essence. Uh, so those are the challenges. It's just getting attention and making an impact. The opportunity, of course, for investors is that the old cliche is buy low, sell high. Well, to buy low, you must buy when others aren't paying attention. One would argue that it's tempting to buy Tesla right now because it's a popular stock and everybody else is buying Tesla, so might as well buy Tesla. Well, that's not a good investment thesis. Um, to make money in the stock market, one has to find opportunities that are unloved, underappreciated, out of favor. And I would say the whole junior mining sector is unloved, underappreciated. And for investors, we welcome their interest in Blue Thunder. If they have questions for management, if they want to do more due diligence, we welcome that.
Blue Thunder holds an amazingly large land package. What are the advantages of having that much land?
The advantage of having a very large land position is that we have multiple prospective targets on our aggregate land position, which totals about 100,000 acres or 50,000 hectares. And because we have multiple targets, it gives us more chances to make a discovery. If we had a small land package with very few targets, well, once we've drilled those few targets, then we'd have nothing else. We'd have to look elsewhere and acquire more land. I would venture to say that Blue Thunder has enough land to explore for the next 10 years. Now, there are very few, if any, investors that have a 10-year investment horizon. So we need to be aggressive. We need to be active and focus on our higher priority targets first. But having a large land position gives us more chance, more opportunity for success.
What would it take Blue Thunder to get to the market cap of some of its neighbors?
For Blue Thunder's share price to rise and therefore for investors to have success, I mean, and management, we're all investors in Blue Thunder as well. We participate in the private placements, we buy in the market. So our interests are aligned. So for the stock to go up and have Blue Thunder become a success for investors, we would have to make a discovery. We've already made discoveries in some instances, but we haven't made an economic discovery. It's early days. We only really started exploring, as I said, we've only been public for a couple of years. We've only started exploring for a couple of years. And so it's fairly early days. It takes some time for us to understand our property, the geology of our properties, if you will, and really vector in on areas of high interest. But one of our neighbors, in particular, a company called Northern Superior, has made what seems to be a discovery. It's early days for them too, but they've released some interesting results. Of note, of course, another company called IM Gold has made a major discovery, and they've discovered 3 million ounces on the Nelligan project, which is on the same structure that we have on our properties, which means we're very optimistic that we'll also make some major discoveries. But there's no doubt that we have to continue adding value. There's no doubt that we have to have a little bit of patience. We're doing all the right things. We're being very professional, very systematic. But in these kinds of business enterprises, it does take a little bit of time.
Why Quebec? What is so special about where you are?
So why did Blue Thunder choose to acquire claims in the province of Quebec? There are many reasons, and they're as follows. First of all, the province of Quebec is very prospective geologically for the discovery of minerals. There are many mines in Quebec, gold mines, copper mines, silver mines, etc. Okay, so the geology is very prospective. Another reason is that the government is very supportive of mineral exploration and mineral development. The government funds exploration directly, and they provide very lucrative tax advantages for investors that buy shares in junior companies like Blue Thunder. Furthermore, the province is routinely ranked as one of the best places to invest. The reason is there is a mining culture. There's a knowledge about what a mine is, how to build a mine. There are many mining service providers. For example, in our area, if we need a drill, there are drilling companies. If we need folks to cut lines or build roads, there's ample service providers. And all of these advantages mean that we have a higher chance of making a discovery in a quicker time, a shorter time frame, and at a lower cost than many, if not any other jurisdiction in the world. And that's why we're in Quebec.
Why should people trust Blue Thunder's board and management teams?
One of the most important criterion in investing in a junior mining company is the faith or confidence or trust in management and the board. At our stage, we are more of a company that has potential rather than reality, and hence why our share price is low. We have lots of hope, lots of potential in terms of geologic discovery. But at the end of the day, it's about trusting management to do the right thing, to spend money wisely, to do, if I can use the term, good geology, to do the basics, act in a professional manner. Investors will find that our ESG CSR governance is exceptionally good, especially for a company of our size. So there has to be a trust. And we welcome any and all investors before they invest or even after they've invested, if they want to contact management or the board to talk to us about what we really think about our prospects and what we do on a day-to-day basis. We've got an open book, and we're a very transparent little company.
What are your plans for the rest of this year?
So we're going to have another busy year. We're currently doing what's called IP, induced polarization. So we've got a team on the ground that is walking, if you will, or snowmobile or ATV, whatever the case may be. They're going over the ground and pulsing the ground with very small amounts of electromagnetic waves to try to detect mineralization. So we're doing IP. We'll be doing some surface sampling as well, and with the hope that we'll be able to drill later this year on our higher priority targets. The bottom line is that we understand that as a junior company, we must continue to forge ahead. We must continue to release news on a timely basis, and we will do so.